Hey everyone, let's dive into something a little spooky today.
Ooh, sounds fun.
We're taking on Lights Out.
Okay.
You know that 2016 horror flick?
Yeah, the one that makes you scared to turn off the lights.
Exactly.
I remember that one.
But we're going deeper than just jump scares today.
Okay.
We're going to explore how the movie uses light and shadow
Interesting.
to build that suspense,
Uh-huh.
and also how it tackles these deeper issues,
Like what?
mental illness,
Right.
family trauma, and
Yeah.
our primal fear of the dark.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Everyone's got that one.
Right.
Absolutely.
It's built into us.
Yeah. It's interesting how Lights Out takes something, we all have that fear of the dark,
Right.
and connects it to something much deeper.
Yeah.
You see how Sophie's mental illness
Right.
becomes this haunting presence in the family?
Yes.
Almost like a monster itself.
It's not just a monster under the bed anymore.
No,
I got
it's something much closer to home
Yeah.
and so much scarier because of it.
Yeah. And something that impacts the whole family,
Yeah, yeah.
not just the one person who sees the monster.
Exactly.
But maybe before we go too far,
Sure.
can we set the stage for our listener?
Of course. How about I give them a quick recap?
Yeah, a reminder of what Lights Out is really about.
Okay, so the movie centers around Rebecca,
Mm-hmm.
who's trying to protect her little brother Martin
Right.
from this terrifying entity, Diana.
Yeah, Diana.
And Diana is connected to their mother, Sophie,
Okay.
who has struggled with mental illness for years.
So it's not just a ghost story.
No, it's so much more.
It's about family secrets facing your past.
Exactly.
Confronting the darkness.
Both literally and figuratively.
Wow. Yeah, that's where that whole light versus dark thing gets
Yeah.
really interesting, right?
Totally.
It's not just about flicking on a light switch.
No.
It's about those moments of hope and clarity, you know?
Yeah.
It's when a character lights a candle, it's almost as if they're pushing back against the darkness.
Exactly.
They found a way to cope
Gotta.
with whatever is going on.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
Light becomes this symbol of safety and control.
Totally.
It's how we instinctively turn on a light when we walk into a dark room.
Yeah, we all do that.
It's a basic human need
Yeah,
to feel safe and secure,
makes sense.
to banish the unknown.
Yeah, totally.
And then you have the darkness in the film,
Uh-huh.
which is so much more than just the absence of light.
Yeah.
It becomes this tangible representation of Sophie's struggles with mental illness.
Interesting.
Something that's misunderstood and hidden for a big part of the story.
Yeah, it's true. And speaking of darkness,
Okay.
the way the film uses light and shadow is just masterful. Think about Rebecca's apartment.
Okay.
It's cluttered and dimly lit,
Yeah.
and it really reflects her internal struggle to face her past,
Uh-huh.
to sort through all that baggage.
It's so clever.
It's her journey is literally mirrored in the way her space is lit.
Yeah, I see it.
You know, moving from shadows to light
Right.
as she confronts her fears.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
It's powerful.
And it's not just about the visuals either.
Yeah.
The sound design adds another layer of tension.
Oh, absolutely.
There's this one scene
Okay.
where Rebecca is slowly backing away from a doorway,
Yeah, I remember that scene.
and the only sound is her ragged breathing.
Oh, yeah.
It's that silence, that
Yeah.
anticipation
It gets you.
that makes it so much scarier
Totally.
than any loud noise could ever be.
It's they weaponized the quiet moments.
Yes.
They made every little creak and groan
Right.
feel ominous.
Yeah,
Like something bad is about to happen.
totally. And then bam, Diana appears.
Yeah.
Remember that opening scene in the warehouse?
Oh, of course. How could I forget?
Talk about setting the tone.
For the whole film.
Right from the start.
Yeah.
This isn't your typical ghost story.
No, it's something else.
Yeah, it's something different.
That warehouse scene is like a masterclass in suspense building.
It really is.
The way the director plays with the shadows, the sudden movements,
Right.
the glimpses of Diana lurking in the darkness.
Yeah.
It's also carefully crafted
Yeah.
to make you feel uneasy.
Totally.
You're constantly on edge.
Like you said before, you don't know when she's going to pop out.
Exactly.
But that's what I love about Lights Out.
Okay, what's that?
It doesn't just throw scares at you.
It's got more going on.
Yeah, it has this whole other layer of depth.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about it.
With Diana's backstory.
Okay, yeah.
As the story unfolds,
Yeah.
we learn that she's not just some random evil entity.
She's more than that.
Right, she's intricately connected to Sophie's past,
Oh, wow.
which adds like a whole new dimension to the horror.
Right, because now it's personal.
Exactly.
Like that.
And that connection to Sophie,
Yeah.
it's not revealed right away.
Oh,
No, the film slowly unravels Diana's origins.
that makes sense.
Right.
To draw you deeper into the mystery.
Yes.
Like a good mystery novel.
Yeah, and then we discover that Diana was actually a young girl
Oh, wow.
who died tragically.
That's sad.
And it's a tragedy that's somehow linked to Sophie's childhood.
Oh, so it all connects.
Yeah, it all ties together.
That's crazy.
It's like Diana becomes a manifestation of Sophie's repressed pain and guilt.
Okay.
This like constant reminder of a past she can't escape.
So it's almost like Diana is a part of Sophie.
Exactly.
Huh.
That's what like elevates Lights Out
Mhm.
beyond a typical horror flick, wouldn't you say?
I would totally agree with you.
It's not just about the scares. It's
Yeah.
about exploring these complex themes of trauma
Yeah.
and how they can manifest in these unexpected ways.
For sure.
And it makes you question,
What's that?
is Diana even real?
Oh, like, is she a figment of Sophie's imagination?
Right? Or is she like a symbol of Sophie's inner demons?
That's a good question.
Yeah, it's like up to the viewer to decide.
I like that.
It's really interesting.
It's a question that really gets to the heart of the film's exploration of mental illness.
Yeah, for sure.
By blurring the lines between the supernatural and the psychological,
Right.
Lights Out forces us to confront the darkness that can exist,
Uh-huh.
both within ourselves and in the world around us.
Wow, that's a great point.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that blurring of lines is what makes the film so thought-provoking,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
It's not just about good versus evil, it's about these gray areas,
Yeah.
these internal struggles that can be even scarier
Right.
than any, like, external threat.
It's like the film is saying, hey, sometimes the scariest monsters aren't lurking in the shadows.
Yeah.
They're the ones that we carry inside.
Total.
And Lights Out really doesn't shy away from showing how difficult it can be
Uh-huh.
to deal with mental illness.
No, it
And
doesn't. Not just for the person struggling, but
Right.
for their family, too.
for everyone involved.
You really see that tension play out between Rebecca and Sophie.
Yeah, like that mother-daughter relationship
Yeah.
is so strained.
There's this frustration on Rebecca's part,
Yeah.
this, like, inability to truly grasp the depths of her mother's pain.
Yeah, she doesn't understand it.
Right.
It's hard when you haven't been there.
And it highlights how easily mental health
Right.
can be misunderstood,
Right.
even by those who love us most.
Like even by your own family.
It's
And that's where that whole idea of a family responsibility comes into play, right?
Yes.
Rebecca has spent years trying to distance herself from her family's issues.
She wants to get away from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's running away.
But she's forced to confront them head on
She can't anymore.
to protect her brother.
She has to step up.
It's like she realizes running away just isn't an option anymore.
Exactly. She has to be the protector.
And think about how that connects
Okay.
to the film's use of light.
Okay. It's like turning on a light.
Can like dispel the literal darkness
Mhm.
confronting our past.
Okay.
However painful, can help us shed light on those things that we've kept hidden.
The stuff we don't want to look at.
Yeah, the stuff we don't want to deal with.
Exactly.
The things that might be holding us back.
I like that comparison.
It makes me think about that scene
Which one?
where Rebecca finds those old photos
Yeah.
of Sophie and Diana together.
Oh, yeah, that's heartbreaking.
It's like this really heartbreaking moment where
Yeah.
you see the weight of their shared history.
Right.
The way trauma has intertwined their lives.
It's heavy stuff.
It's really powerful.
It is, and it really sets the stage
Okay.
for the film's climax,
Oh, yeah.
Sophie's sacrifice.
Wow.
It's a moment that's both incredibly sad
Yeah.
and strangely empowering.
It's so complex.
I know, right?
Like, on the one hand,
Yeah.
it's devastating to see a character who's clearly struggling make that choice.
It's hard to watch.
But then there's also this sense of Sophie, like, finally taking control,
Uh-huh.
of breaking free from this cycle of suffering that has consumed her for so long.
It's like she found a way out,
Right.
but at a great cost.
And that's what I find so fascinating about this scene.
What's that?
It raises all these questions.
Like what kind of questions?
About agency and mental illness.
Interesting.
Was this truly Sophie's choice?
Mm.
Or was it influenced by Diana?
Yeah, that entity that represents her struggles,
Right.
that's a tough one.
Like, is it even possible to find freedom
Yeah?
when you're battling something that feels so deeply ingrained?
Something you can't escape.
Yeah, it really makes you think.
It's a question that stays with you long after the credits roll.
For sure.
And it forces you to think critically
Uh-huh.
about the film's overall message about mental health.
Okay.
It's not offering any easy answers,
No.
but it's definitely sparking a conversation.
And that's what good storytelling should do, right?
Absolutely.
Provoke us.
Yes.
Challenge us.
Make us see the world in a new way.
And Lights Out definitely does that.
It does.
It's not just a horror movie.
It's more than that.
It's a film about facing our fears,
Yeah.
about the complexities of human connection,
Right.
and about finding the courage to seek help,
Okay.
even when it feels impossible.
That's important.
It is.
It also reminds us
Of what?
that we don't have to face our darkness alone.
We don't.
There's strength in asking for help,
Yeah,
in leaning on those who care about us.
I agree with that.
It's a really powerful message.
Exactly. And Lights Out cleverly uses the horror genre
Yeah.
to explore those very real, very human experiences.
It's not just about the scares.
No.
It's about real life, too.
It's a reminder that the things that scare us the most
Uh-huh.
often reflect our own vulnerabilities, our own anxieties.
That's true.
The things we try to hide from.
But even though the film delves into these dark themes,
Yeah.
it also offers like a glimmer of hope.
It does.
You know?
Think about how Rebecca,
Okay.
who's been avoiding her family's problems for so long,
She wanted to get away.
ultimately finds the strength to confront them.
She steps up.
She steps up
She chooses to stay.
and becomes the protector,
Yes.
the one who stands between her brother and the darkness.
I love that.
It's a powerful image.
And that transformation is so crucial.
Yes.
It highlights the resilience of the human spirit.
Right.
The idea that even when faced with like unimaginable challenges,
Yeah.
we have the capacity to find strength,
Yeah.
to overcome adversity, and to step into the light.
Yeah, it's like even amidst all the scares and psychological twists, Lights Out reminds us that we have the power to fight back against the darkness, both literally and figuratively.
And that power can come from unexpected places.
Yeah.
Think about how Rebecca, who spent so much of the film running from her past, ultimately finds that strength to confront it. She chooses to protect her family, to face those fears head on.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I find so compelling about the film. It manages to deliver those like heart-pounding scares, but it's also weaving in this really profound message about hope and resilience.
Absolutely. It's like a reminder that even in the darkest times, even when we feel totally overwhelmed,
Mm-hmm.
there's always that like flicker of light within us. You know?
Yeah.
It might be faint, but it's there.
Right.
And sometimes all it takes is a little spark to ignite it.
And Lights Out does a brilliant job of like visually representing that spark, wouldn't you say?
Oh, for sure. The way the director uses light and shadow to create these moments of suspense and relief. It's masterful.
Like, think about that scene where Rebecca uses a black light to reveal Diana's presence.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just a cool visual effect.
No.
It's a powerful metaphor for how we can expose the things that haunt us, you know?
Yeah,
How we can bring them into the light and strip them of their power.
I like that.
It's like the film is saying, hey, you don't have to be afraid of the dark. You have the tools to illuminate it, to understand it, and to overcome it.
Exactly. And those tools can be anything, you know,
Yeah.
from seeking professional help
Yeah.
to confiding in a loved one
Yeah?
to simply acknowledging our own struggles.
Totally. Like, that's a big one.
It is.
Like, just admitting that something's wrong.
That's always the first step, awareness.
So after our deep dive into Lights Out,
Uh-huh.
what are some of the key takeaways?
Okay, so for one thing,
Yeah.
I think it's a reminder that horror can be more than just cheap thrills.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it can be a way to explore those complex themes like mental illness, trauma, the power of the human spirit.
It's also a great example of how, like, effective filmmaking techniques
Uh-huh.
can heighten those themes
Yeah,
and create a truly immersive experience for the viewer.
for sure. The sound design, the lighting, the pacing, it all works together
Yeah.
to build that suspense and keep you on the edge of your seat.
Right from the beginning.
And lastly, I think Lights Out is a powerful testament to the importance of human connection. It shows us that even when we feel lost and alone, there are people who care about us, people who want to help us find our way out of the darkness.
And you know what?
What's that?
The next time you find yourself reaching for the light switch,
Okay.
maybe take a moment to think about what you're really trying to illuminate.
Yeah.
You know, is it just the room or is it something deeper? Are you trying to chase away the shadows of fear or doubt or uncertainty?
Ooh, I like that.
Remember, the darkness can only hold power over us if we let it.
That's a great point.
You have the power
Yes, you do.
to turn on the light.
And there's always a way to find the light.
That's a great note to end on. Thanks for joining me on this illuminating deep dive into Lights Out.
It was my pleasure.
Until next time, stay curious, and remember, keep those lights shining bright